Look at what your neglect has caused. This is ruined because of your disregard for my property rights. You realize I just recorded you admitting to this, right? These papers say otherwise. Brenda Sterling from my HOA climbed over my 6-foot fence, slashed my toddler's kiddie pool, and then tried to fine me for it. Yeah, that's how this started. It was July, stupid hot, and my 3-year-old daughter Lily just wanted her little pool. Not a big above-ground thing. It's just a cheap blue inflatable kiddie pool from the store. I checked the HOA rules. They said, no permanent pools without approval. The key word was permanent. This thing was $20 and barely held 6 inches of water. So I set it up inside my fenced backyard, not in the front, not on the street. Inside my private yard, behind a locked gate. Lily splashed around, happy for the first time all week. I even thought, wow, maybe the HOA will leave us alone for once. Then Brenda saw it. Brenda is the HOA president. You know the type. Visor, clipboard, permanent frown. She walked by, saw the pool through a gap in the fence. I swear I could hear her brain explode. That night, I got an email. Unapproved pool. Act. Immediate removal required. $250. Attached was a blurry photo of my kid smiling in the water. I replied, polite at first. I said, this is a temporary kiddie pool, allowed under Section 4.2. It's inside my yard. I even copied the rule from the HOA handbook. She sent back one line. All pools require approval. Remove it, or further action will be taken. I ignored it. The rules were clear. Lily got one more day with her pool. Next afternoon, I'm at work. My phone buzzes with movement from my backyard camera. I open the app, and there she is. Brenda, in broad daylight. She walks up, looks around, then climbs my locked side gate like it's a jungle gym. She drops into my yard, pulls something shiny out of her pocket, and starts stabbing the kiddie pool. My 3-year-old is standing there in her swimsuit, barefoot, watching her pool deflate while Brenda yells, "This is a violation. This is a violation." Lily starts crying. Brenda just steps over the sagging plastic like it's trash and leaves, climbing back over the fence. I went from calm to shaking with rage in about 3 seconds. I left work early, drove home, saw the dead pool on the grass and my daughter still sniffling. My wife met me at the door and said she just came in here. I told her to stop, but she kept saying she was acting under HOA authority. I pulled up the video and watched it again. Every second made me angrier. I emailed the whole HOA board. I sent the clip, screenshots, everything. I wrote, "Your president just trespassed on my private fenced property and destroyed my kid's pool. I expect an apology, replacement, and her removal from the board." They replied with an invite to a violation hearing. For me, I still went. The meeting was in the community room. Brenda sat at the front with her little nameplate, acting like a queen. The other board members sat stiff and quiet. I showed the video on my phone. You could hear the gasps from a few neighbors in the back. Brenda didn't even flinch. "He refused to comply with the notice," Brenda said, pointing at me. The pool was an eyesore. I acted in the best interest of the community. One board member cleared his throat and said, "Well, technically, temporary pools are, permitted." Brenda whipped her head around and cut him off. What? When they attract pests or lower property values. I looked at the others. No one would meet my eyes. They all turned into scared little kids in front of her. One neighbor tried to speak up. I saw the email, and he's right about the rules. Brenda glared at her so hard she folded in her seat. The board voted. They didn't punish Brenda. They fined me an extra $100 for hostile behavior in my reply email. I walked out of that room shaking, not from fear, from rage. I sat in my car and watched the video again. Brenda's ugly flip-flops in my grass, her voice yelling at my crying kid. The way everyone just let her do it. Something inside me clicked. Fine. If they wanted to play with rules, we'd play with rules. That night, I read the entire HOA handbook, all 67 pages. Then I read our state's laws on homeowners associations. Then I called my cousin, who's a paralegal, and asked, "Hey, what happens if an HOA officer trespasses and damages property?" He laughed. "You might want to talk to an actual lawyer, because that sounds like a lawsuit." So I did. I booked a consult with a real attorney, showed him the video, the emails, the handbook, and the fine notices. He watched the clip twice, leaned back and said, "They really thought this was okay." Then he pointed to a section of the HOA rules I hadn't even noticed. Board members are not allowed to enter any enclosed private yard without written consent, except for emergencies. And any such action is their personal responsibility, not the HOA's. He said, "We're going after both. Brenda for trespass and vandalism, and the HOA for trying to enforce illegal fines and backing her up." We sent a legal demand letter. It listed everything: trespass, destruction of property, emotional distress for my child, violation of their own bylaws, and harassment through bogus fines. They had 10 days to respond. They didn't, so we filed. Word got out fast. Suddenly neighbors who had stayed quiet at the meeting were stopping me at the mailbox, whispering, "Is it true? You're suing the HOA?" People started sharing the video in group chats. Someone uploaded a clipped version to our neighborhood Facebook group with the caption, "Pool Patrol Brenda." That's when it went nuclear. By the time this special HOA meeting came around, half the neighborhood showed up. People were standing in the back, phones out, already recording before it even started. Brenda tried to open the meeting. "We are here to address." A neighbor shouted, "Yeah, your breaking and entering career." Everyone laughed. Even I cracked a smile. My lawyer came with me and sat right beside me, calm, confident. Brenda saw him and turned bright red. The board announced that due to ongoing legal matters, they couldn't talk about the lawsuit, but they tried to pass a rule banning all water play structures on any property. My lawyer raised his hand. "Just so everyone here knows, that would be illegal under your own bylaws and probably state law. And you're already being sued for that woman climbing someone's fence and slashing a pool." Phones went up higher. Tia. You could see little red recording lights everywhere. Brenda hissed, "You can't film this," and someone in the back yelled, "Public meeting, sweetheart." I found out later that their insurance company refused to cover Brenda's actions because it was intentional vandalism. That meant the HOA itself and Brenda personally were on the hook. The pressure broke fast. A month later, we had our day in small claims court. Simple case. The judge watched the video, looked at the emails, then stared at Brenda like she was out of her mind. "You climbed his fence." The judge asked. "I was performing my duties," she said. "Your duties don't include trespassing into private yards and destroying children's toys," the judge replied. "You're lucky we're only talking about civil damages." The judge ruled in my favor. Brenda had to pay for the damages, my legal costs, and a nice chunk for all the nonsense. The HOA was ordered to drop every fine against me and rewrite their rules to match the law. But the worst part for Brenda, the court record went straight to the HOA members. At the next election, the neighborhood turned on her. People campaigned against her with flyers that said things like, "No more pool patrol," and "Keep your fence." Lose Brenda. The videos from that meeting and the court day got shared again and again. She lost her position as president by a landslide. Then she lost her spot on the board. Now, my backyard is peaceful. Lily has a new kiddie pool and a sprinkler. Kids splash and scream and laugh, and nobody says a thing. The new board actually reads the rules and talks to us like humans. Her house went up for sale not long after. Before she left, I'd sometimes see her peek out her window and look at my yard, trying not to stare at the pool she once destroyed. Neighbors would look at her, shake their heads, and turn away. She didn't just lose power, she lost the whole audience she used to boss around. All because she broke into my yard over a kiddie pool. Please subscribe to Karen Conflict for more HOA showdowns like this. Do you think she got what she deserves? Comment below.